So this is a bit of an emergency broadcast regarding the digital IDs. Yesterday in Canada, Justin Trudeau met with all of our provincial premiers and basically told them that we will not be able to get funding for our healthcare unless the premiers agree to the digital IDs. I will show all the proof. Now, those of you who think that digital IDs are great, they are not. Let me show you what these digital IDs will actually entail when it comes to control. Here's an overview basically of everything that will be included in the digital IDs. This can be found on the WEF website and also on all of the provincial and government websites. You will have healthcare. You will not be able to access any healthcare without this digital ID. Financial system. You will actually not even be able to carry out bank accounts or carry out anything online regarding financial transactions. Food and sustainability. This says for farmers and consumers, you will not be able to get into stores. You will not be able to even sell anywhere. Once they have this system in place, this is where the digital currency will come in. Travel and mobility. We saw that with the Arrive scam app. Humanitarian responses, which is basically just garbage. It's in case something happens, they will be able to track and find you, including if you don't want anything injected in your body. E-commerce. You will not be able to shop online. Then you have social media platforms. You will literally need this ID in order to get TikTok, Twitter, or Facebook. No more fake accounts. You have e-government. So if you want your taxes done, any sort of benefits from there, you will need this. Then it gets even scarier. Telecommunications. You will not be able to actually get an internet provider without this digital ID, and they will be able to track you. And then up there you have smart cities, and we all know what those are. Those of you who think I'm lying, here's the federal condition. In order for us to access our money, our tax money, this is basically a hostage situation of our tax money. And what you will see is instigators, government instigators under Twitter, under Justin Trudeau, that basically say we need to push our provincial governments to, get the money so that we can spend it better. No, we don't. We actually need to call our provincial governments right now, today and tomorrow and every single day until they scrap this digital ID. They cannot pass this without our approval. So I need everybody in Canada to call your provincial governments and literally tell them that this is not going to happen. If we need to privatize, if we need to somehow get into a different system of healthcare, we need to do that. As for everyone in the United States, you're kind of lucky because your healthcare is privatized. There's also a lot more internet providers.
Shalom. Call Halam La Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Haracha'a Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught us this truth and sincerity. They steered us well, and they rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect. May the blessing of election be upon your house. It's the brother Zion coming at you with another lesson. To feed the lambs to the Holy Spirit. Haracha'a Kodash. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. And in this particular lesson, we're going to get into digital implants launching in December. Okay? And in Kenya, all right, newborns can in fact get injected with a digital ID in order to track them and in order to identify them. They are trying to their so-called narrative is that you won't have a struggle to identify other Kenyan citizens, but it is ultimately, all right, the mark of the beast. That is literally what this digital implant is. This is the MOTB launching in December in Kenya. All right, let's see if we could get the video. Yep, that's the next one. Let's watch it.
That will not go along with it because of capitalism. So your money is actually speaking a lot louder in the United States, but Canada, this is coming down the pipeline, and it's coming down the pipeline fast, and we need to act.
Now, let me just put it blatantly to you. The program targets the birth of new babies. So once you have your baby, before your baby leaves the hospital, you no longer get a paper birth certificate, but then you get a digital one that is somehow implanted somewhere on somebody's body.
The digital ID, which has been a big problem to us for a very long time, is now on a testing mode for the next 2 months. I have been assured by all the stakeholders, led by the ministries concerned, that by December, we will be able to launch digital ID.
Bill Gates is at it once again. Yep, this time he's in Kenya. You know, he's always testing in Africa, you know, testing the AIDS virus, wink, wink, shooting them up with AIDS to make sure it spread it. Because it didn't come from no green monkeys, because if it came from green monkeys, I have to say, who f***ed the monkey, huh? Who was the monkey? Who f***ed the monkey? It wasn't none of them niggas over there. We've been over there for centuries. Ain't never f***ed the green monkey. One of them white people came over there playing Tarzan, Ngawa, talk to the animals and shit. Been over there for centuries. Can't get a sentence out the mother. Anyway, Bill Gates is back at it. He's in Kenya. This motherfucker's testing out digital IDs, y'all. Hold on, check this out.
The program targets the birth of new babies. So once you have your baby, before your baby leaves the hospital, you no longer get a paper birth certificate, but then you get a digital one that is somehow implanted somewhere on somebody's body.
Can we say the mark of the beast?
But have a listen to this.
The digital ID, which has been a big problem to us for a very long time, is now on a testing mode for the next 2 months. I have been assured by all the stakeholders,
all the stakeholders,
ministries concerned, that by December, we will be able to launch digital ID.
And this motherfucker sound excited about it, you know. By December, we'll be able to launch digital ID where everybody get this shit underneath their skin. No more credit card, no more ID. We will track your every movement. If you're f***ing too fast, we will know this. If you're running too slow, we will know that also. You get the bloody nose, we will know. We will know. We will know.
Because that's the pride of Esau Edom, man. Esau Edom, you know, think of himself as the Most High. You know, Esau, these elites, they actually look at themselves as the Most High. They think they are gods. But the scriptures call them the devil. All right. But let's go to Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Now, this mark, this is a physical mark. This is not a spiritual mark. There is two marks. Okay? You have the mark of Thawah, and you have the Charagma or Charagma. All right? One is spiritual, okay? And one is physical. All right? And we're going to explain that in this lesson. Because you need to know your marks. All right? And know what it means. It's important. Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great. That's everybody. From the average Joe, the small fry that work at McDonald's, all the way up to the CEO of whatever company or manager, whoever, celebrity, rich and poor, free and bond. All right. You think prisoners not going to have that? Prisoners already go by a number. So you already know a MOTB gonna go in a prisoner's arm. To receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now let's go to the word mark. in the Greek?
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
All right. A stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the followers of the Antichrist. You see, you are going to choose your allegiance when you will be presented with this. Because if you don't have it, they're going to track you down. That's why Yahweh Shema Shai say, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Because, because in that day, when you be presented with it, you're going to have a strong answer. And there's a consequence for taking this MOTB. And we're going to get into that as well. But you're going to pick a side, The mark branded upon horses, thing carved, you hear that? Sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. Okay, so this is a physical mark. All right. And let's go to the root word of that.
Strong's G 5482. Charax. Charax.
A pale or stake. A palisade or rampart. Pales between which earth, stones, trees, and timbers are heaped and packed together. In the Strong's definitions, sharpened to a point. All right. You hear that? That's the needle that the MOTB is going to be injected through. It's going to be a needle, a palisade, a stake. If you ever seen a dog get chipped, it's the exact same needle as that. They're just showing you through gradualism and convenience on what you're going to be doing. You're going to be the dog next. You will have all of your information installed in it. Your Google accounts. You can't even get an internet provider without this MOTB, this C-HIP. You won't even have a YouTube channel without the MOTB. That's your login. You won't be able to drive a car. You won't be able to go to work and clock in. You will literally be ostracized out of society and forced to live off the grid, on the run, like a fugitive, because you are considered a DT, a domestic, you know the rest. So, Salakia. So you're going to have a lot of people out there in the woods. And Esau know people going to go to the woods. You think Esau don't know that? You think he done got booby traps? You think he ain't going to have drones out there? You think he ain't going to never just have that? Yes, he going to have drones and all that shit. Robot dogs. They already here. And these robot dogs are in fact weaponized in the flesh. Like, this is real. They are weaponized with flamethrowers, you name it. They can run like 70 miles an hour. They on your ass. You can't outrun that thing, man. This is how you know we need Yahweh Shema Shai. So you need to take the Day of Atonement very seriously. Because this could, in fact, be the blood on the door. Seriously. Because if we ain't got Yahweh Shai, we're done. And this is the root word of corrects.
Strong's G 1125. Grapho. Grapho.
All right. So it's evident that this mark, this Charagma, this C-hip, it's evident that this mark is physical. This is not a spiritual mark. This is a physical mark. And this is going to furtherly prove, because I mentioned earlier, you won't have a Google account. You won't have a YouTube channel. You won't be able to have internet service without this C-hip, without this digital implant. Okay? They just got a fancy name on it. It's the mark of the beast, man. Esau can say it's, it's fake and all of that, that it's misinformation. And no, that is the mark of the beast. That digital implant. This is what we're reading. This is the digital implant. Charagma. All right. Let's read the first definition of a grapho. That's the root word of charax. So we got charagma. All right. That is the imprinted mark. That is the stamp. All right. So that is a physical mark. And the root word of that is charax, which is a palisade, a stake sharpened to a point, showing you that you're going to get injected with this. All right. And this is grapho. To write with reference to the form of the letters. To delineate letters on a tablet, parchment paper, or other material. To write with reference to the contents of the writing. To express in written characters. To commit to writing things not to be forgotten. Like your social security number. Jake can't never remember their social security number. All of your tax information. You won't even be able to file taxes or get a tax refund without this MOTB. So all that little check that you think you finna get in January, it ain't gonna happen unless you got this. You will literally be ostracized out of society. You won't be able to participate in Babylon the Great. You won't be able to work without this. This will have your employee number on here. It'll have your little MOTB 401k, that you think you're going to get. You're going to get a universal basic income. 401k will be out of the question. You will have a universal basic income. USDR. And if you have any issue with what the government has to do or say with their draconian measures, then they would deduct money out of your account. Compliance is going to mean food in your stomach in that day. All right. And a lot of people are going to fall in line very fast when they realize that they can't barely live. Compliance means food in your belly. All right. And you're going to have a lot of, Jakes and a whole lot of heathens and, these mere mortals, you're going to have a lot of them that's going to resist, and they're going to get thrown into re-education camps. And in order for you to get out of those re-education camps, you will have to be let into society. All right. And how are they going to do that? By this MOTV. write down record. Right. You can have all your records. Your school records, medical records, incident reports, you name it. Use of those which stand written in the sacred books to write one by writing. So all of your information will be installed in this thing. All right, point blank period. So this is a physical mark. It's evident. Okay. If your baby is born, you won't be able to get a birth certificate. Babies will be injected with the MOTB, and it will be in them for the duration of their life. So let's go to Ezekiel 9:4. And let's talk about this mark, right? Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Now, this mark is the mark of Thawah. This is a spiritual mark. Okay? This is a spiritual mark, and only the elect has that mark of Thawah. The elect that was prayed for by Yahushua. The elect that was chosen from the foundations of the earth. All right? The first spirits created, and it's only right for those first spirits to rule on the face of the earth, Let's read it again. And the Lord Yahweh, Ezekiel 9:4, and the Lord Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city. And that's what we doing. The prophets, The prophets are in the streets, teaching, warning you, blowing the trumpet, making you ready for the battle. But everybody walk around and they don't listen. They're not going to be ready, Because when this famine hit, in order for you to go in the grocery store and in order for you to get into these stores, you're going to have to get the MOTB. Just to get in these stores, And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city and through the midst of Jerusalem, right? Rebuking our people, correcting our people, giving them the blueprint of salvation, warning them, letting them know that Yahweh Shema Shai have their eyes set on Babylon the Great, and this place is going to receive judgment. Singing this beautiful song in its full entirety. It's the same song, but a different sound, If you sing like a Al Green song, the song is going to sound different, but it's the same lyrics. These lyrics is these breakdowns, the breakdowns of the scriptures, edifying the flock, building up the spirits in the hopeful elect, but also giving these 2/3 their judgment and these heathens their judgment, that if you don't get right, Jake, Yahweh Shema Shai is not going to play with you. The Lord will leave you here and melt you, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all these abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Okay, so all of the Israelites that signed and crying, the prophets, all right, they going to have a mark of Thawah. That is an exemption from judgment. You know, the hopeful elect is going to be in the midst of it, because Yahweh Shema Shah said, even the elect shall scarcely be saved, man. Roughly paraphrasing. You know? Let me, we're going to go back to that, though. Let me get that. First Peter 4:17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh Shema Shah. You see? Judgment is starting with Israelites that know that they Israelites. Then the 2/3 heathens. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh Shema Shah? Ultimately, it's going to be the missiles and controlled fire from the chariots. Okay? And Yahweh Shah himself, he is going to slay many himself. All right? And the whole host of heaven. And if they're and if the righteous scarcely be saved, you see, the righteous is gonna barely make it. You know, the elect that we are praying and hoping to be are gonna barely make it. Where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? You see, so it's imperative that we have this mark of Thawah. This is a spiritual mark. All right. This is spiritual. Ezekiel 9:4, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads. Okay, so let's see what this mark is. Let's go to it in the Hebrew.
Strong's H8420. Tav.
And in the Paleo Hebrew is Thawah. Thawah. Okay, which is a sign of exemption from judgment. All right. These Israelites are staying in the standing stiffly in the name of Yahweh Shema Shah, and that's what we doing. You know? Strong's 8 right here in the Briggs lexicon, sign of exemption from judgment. You see? This is a spiritual mark. This is that secret place. You know? That's why the scriptures say that the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth to it and is safe, man. You know? All right, so you got a physical mark, which is the Charagma, and you got the mark of Thawah. All right, so Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. I want to give infinite honors, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and sincerity. They steered us well, and they rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect. May the blessing of election be upon your house. We on the next one. Abaratazah. Shalom.